Yeah. Yeah. Hey y'all, at least I got myself off of mute this time so you'll be able to hear me. Shout out to everybody that came in. This is actually kind of random and impromptu because I was going to go to the gym first, but then I decided to just come on here because at the end of the day, these bandits are still crying and deflecting and running around trying to attack what they believe is people's personal lives when they really should be shutting the hell up and leveling up, but they're not doing it. And I want to talk about how this discussion has turned from a bus driver, her saying that she wouldn't date a bus driver, to her now her white ex-husband. And Umar Johnson had a response, of course. Everybody was calling on the name of Umar Johnson anyway. I don't know why, because Umar Johnson is really starting to make me question his intellectual ability. I'm not going to say that he's not smart. I'm just going to say in situations where he come up against the truth or somebody challenging what he's saying, just like every other bandit, he does not know what to do except to deflect and get into non sequiturs and talk about things that are irrelevant, which is Ebony Williams' white ex-husband, because it really doesn't matter who Ebony Williams chooses to associate herself with. The bottom line of it is she already talked about whatever she talked about. What she said about bandits is true. It just is what it is. So they can sit up here and they can try to whine and cry and complain. No one cares, because at the end of the day, what she said is still true. And the fact of the matter is, the reason why nobody is presenting any evidence to substantiate, to either to debunk what she's saying, is the fact that there is none, because this is all backed by data. So what you see here is the same thing that I experienced when I get into debates with bandits. It's the fact that at the end of the day, they don't have a leg to stand on. They simply can't justify their failure in society. They can't do it. So instead, they just deflect. And that's ultimately what Umar Johnson is doing. And so we're going to go over this video. This is a short video. My sister Ella is here too. Oh, Ella, you look really cute. I love your outfit.
Thank you.
So I'm going to show you, Ella, if you haven't heard the videos yet, I'm going to show you them, or rather I'm going to let you hear them, because there's some dialogues going on, even between DJ Envy on the Breakfast Club attacking her. So let me play some clips. I'm going to start out by playing the clips for Ella so she can hear what this is all about. And then we'll ultimately end with the Umar Johnson piece. So let me find my clips really quickly. Because at the end of the day, this is just a product of them not wanting to hear the truth, which is typical. If Ebony doesn't want to date a bus driver, she does not have to date a bus driver. My question is, all of these bandits are now saying that she primarily dates white men. She never mentioned black men at all. So what is the problem then? What is the need to attack her, a woman that you say only dates white men? You're assuming that when she made a statement, she was talking about black men, which means that the shoe fit. You shouldn't have a problem, though, if you already acknowledge that the only people who she deals with is white men. Why then would
well, and it also sounds like they don't fit her criteria, and that's why they're upset, because they can't level up to where the white men are to actually be able to approach her.
No, they don't. But let me try to find this clip part. I'm gonna go to the clip so you can hear what she has to say. Hold on for a second. I had to find the part.
We won't shut up. And we,
I had a very lovely single Black mother. And I'm gonna get to the single Black motherhood. And
Are you able to hear it, Ellen?
but she was
Yeah.
by definition
Okay.
more of a father figure in terms of providing and protecting. And I think that's very common. So according to the US Census, Ayanla, 23% of households in the country are single parent households, and we know 80% of them are led by women. How does this affect the child? Both little girls, little boys, non-binary children.
who I love with all my heart. As soon as I discovered.
That's not the part I'm trying to skip to this so you can hear everything.
PhDs. We also are the fastest.
Crown and my
Okay,
crown is
just the
straight.
part.
Okay. I'm looking forward to straightening my crown, Dr. Ayana. Let me ask you this. Let's get to the logistics, though. Let's get to the logistics. We know that Black women are earning college degrees faster than anybody else. Many of us are doing like we're doing, Ayana. We're getting those terminal degrees, those JDs, MD, PhDs. We also are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, along with Latina women in America. Pew Research said that women are now out earning men. In 22
Yeah.
of the largest cities in America, including where I live, New York, DC, LA, you name it. When we talk, and I know that you've said that you cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man. So I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Ayanla, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes, they're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date?
If he owns the bus, if he owns
No.
it, if he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date a bus driver. But we think that it's another human being's responsibility to give us what we need instead of us building together. I can build with a bus driver. I'd have my little stash over on the side in my prenup, but I could build with a bus driver. So I think some of the criteria that we look for in the reality of today keeps us unhappy, keeps us angry, keeps us imbalanced. And then when the men show up, we want to beat them up because they're not living up to our standards and criteria. And it's not working, beloved. It's just not working.
Okay, so now let me tell. Now you heard what Iyanla their exchange. Now Ebony Williams, she's an attorney. She's also on the Real Housewives of New York. She also has a show on the Grio. She was a news correspondent as well, and she had the net worth of $3 million. And Iyanla is asking her if she would date a bus driver after she literally went into the data, the statistics about how men don't measure up. Iyanla wants to sit there and say that Black women specifically are showing up in society as very masculine. So ultimately, Ebony is saying, she's saying it, but she didn't say it in those words. These men are lacking. They're not fulfilling their position as a man, which means that we basically have to be the providers and protectors. I don't know why. If a woman is telling you about the deficit in men, why then would you get up and ask her if she'll date a bus driver, knowing that this woman is a millionaire?
Yeah, it sounds pretty insane. And I find it extremely concerning that she really just want to lower the standards of women. Like, why is she not saying, you know, these are the statistic on guys, and so, you know, maybe they should do better, pretty much. Instead, she's like, well, these women, they're they have all their money and they have their lives together, but they're gonna be sad because they don't have a bum dude in their house. Like, what? These women, she didn't seem sad. She seemed like she moved on to a sufficient guy.
Yeah.
So they're go ahead.
Ebony is essentially saying that, look, because she's talking about the mediocrity of Black men, essentially, or that's what they assumed. Because notice that you didn't hear her mention Black men at all. In fact, she says she's dated men all across the entire color spectrum. So she didn't mention Black men. After this clip went viral, Black men and Black women attacked Ebony, talking about, oh, you're demeaning Black men, and you're saying you wouldn't date a bus driver. Oh, she's just a gold digger. Mind you, she has her own money. She's extremely accomplished. She doesn't, like, why is she digging for anybody else's gold when she already accumulated enough on her own? So it's like they jumped on her saying, oh, well, you're dissing Black men and you hate Black men. She didn't even mention Black men at all. So then she had to come out with a response. I want you to listen to her response.
Yes, please.
Can we get, before we get started the response, can I just make a comment on that too? Because
yeah, go ahead.
I thought it was very interesting and sad that everybody, and I mean women and men, but I'm thoroughly disappointed that women actually rallied behind men in this regard to attack her. And I thought it was particularly interesting because they changed the narrative from what she actually said in order to essentially collectively punish her for having standards, because they didn't say, like you said, you know, they're not actually making complaints about what she stated. They're making it a situation about, you know, certain workers. No. And that's not what she said. That was not her sentiment at all. But it was interesting to see them change the dialogue and the narrative to something that it wasn't in an attempt to attack her and punish her for actually having standards, specifically for Black men. But go ahead.
Well, and even like you said, even like Cynthia said, like she never even mentioned Black men at all. She just said men in general.
Did you hear the clip that we played before you came up? Because if not, I'll play it again.
No, I've heard it. I've heard it a couple times.
Yeah, so she didn't mention Black men at all. In fact, she said she's dated all across the color spectrum and that men are just not showing up as providers and protectors. So her ex-husband, which this discussion has now turned to an issue of her white ex-fiance, he was white. So if she was talking about anybody, you would just naturally assume that she was talking about the last man that she was with, which was a white man. Yet It's not white men or white people attacking her. It is Black people attacking her, specifically Black women and Black men, which are the totality of Black men. We already know that. So this is obviously hit dog hollering. Y'all, they can sit up here and talk about how well Black men are doing, but if someone says that men are not showing up as providers or protectors, they're falling behind Black women. If you naturally assume that they're talking about Black men and you get defensive, it's because then you're agreeing that yes, Black men are not showing up as providers or protectors, nor do they fulfill their side of their role of manhood. They want all this femininity and submission, but they don't want to fulfill the role of masculinity, which is provider and protector. They assume she's talking about Black men.
Right, and then accept them anyway.
Yep. So let me play her response, because she got attacked majorly and then she had to respond, and this was her response.
So out of the 50,000 plus posted on social, I saw a handful that even considered the possibility of a bus owner being a more aspirational position, and recognizing that I am actually speaking and pouring into the ascension of Black men when I said what I said. But see, no, some of y'all were too busy naming and shaming me personally and Black women in general as undesirable, gold diggers, and much worse. Now, I suspect that some of y'all are the same men that were bringing home C's and D's on your report cards, only to then be coddled by parents that said, well, that's okay, as long as you're doing your best. Well, listen, I love and believe in the excellence of Black men. So no, my dear.
Are you guys having a hard time hearing?
Form of mediocrity is not
It
okay.
is muffled, but I mean, I can still hear it.
For you,
No, if it's muffled and very low, okay, hold on. Let me pause it. I'm gonna run upstairs and get my speaker to make it louder. Can y'all two hold down the fort really quickly? I'm gonna
Yeah,
get my speaker.
because I wanted to dive a little bit more into this anyway, because what bothered me also about like the way this whole interview went south, because it really had nothing to do with like they're spinning this into something that it wasn't, because she was really making it clear that her preference, and I thought she was very graceful and humble, really, because a lot more could have been said than what she actually said.
Right.
But she was speaking to her specific personal preferences for a partner. And if you're talking about she said, I wouldn't date a bus driver unless he owned the bus. And that's saying what her specifications are for her reasons. And maybe for the other lady, yeah, maybe you would date one. But for her measure of what she needs in order to feel safe and comfortable and proud in her relationship is an ambitious man. And
Right.
maybe like back in the day, she may have been settled for a bus driver. But where she is now, that's not what she's interested in. And that's not what her preference is. So for them to attack her because her preference, and we can all dismiss. I mean, I don't think it's prudent to even dismiss the outcomes for successful women who are higher earners than their male partners. Those relationships don't go well. Those
Exactly.
relationships significantly go bad because it makes the man feel insecure.
Inferior.
Yeah, exactly, and inadequate. And those create major complications in relationships. So even if she wanted to say, yeah, I will have a relationship of a bus driver, even though at where I am, I'm at this level, and I will date someone at this level. It's like, that's disingenuous. And even if it isn't disingenuous, you're asking for problems in your relationship. You're asking for complications. And that isn't, not to say that every relationship like that is going to be unsuccessful, but majority are. And there's a lot of studies to back that as well. It's like, that's not, but she's saying personally, I'm not for this. And I've had enough experience in relationships to know what I want and what works for me. So for them to degrade her and try to berate her because she's not going to want to date a bus driver when she's a very well established, successful, hardworking woman, it's baffling.
Yes, see,
like that they would say,
I'm
well,
like,
you should date. Like they want to bully her into saying that she should date someone who is
right. It's
beneath what
kind
she
of
feels she's
bizarre.
worked for. Like, no, it's not. It's not prudent either. It's disgusting.
Right. It's kind of bizarre that society nowadays seem to feel like that they have the authority to, dictate what a person desires, what a person choose for themselves, and even their mindset on actually believing that they deserve it. It's like, what is it to you? Like, so say I decide for myself, I don't want a bus driver. And you are happy, like this lady that she was just speaking with, she was like, well, I will happily date a
And
bus
she's
driver.
lying too.
Okay,
I
well
think
then,
she's lying.
well,
Ellen,
my
you-
point is then there are more bus drivers for you.
Joe,
So be
They-
happy.
But they did the same thing to you when you went on Kendra G, because they were saying that, oh, you were asking for too much and you're gonna die. Like the same, they were doing the same thing when you went on Kendra G. And it was because you had standards, because you wanted.
Right. But I'm just confused as to why my standards are so upsetting, or anyone's standards anyway, is so upsetting to other people. It's like you're saying that you would be happy with something other than what I want, then be happy with that then, because now there's more of that for you, because you don't have to worry about me swimming in that pool trying to take, from the fishies that you want.
Right.
Like I want other fishies. So be happy with the lower standard fishies, in my opinion. But if those are high quality fishies for you, then go get them. Like, why are you upset at me because of that?
And
Or
I think
at her?
I think one of the reasons why women get upset when other women have standards and I think a particular type of woman, like I think there are desperate women out there who just want a man to like them, and I think when Black women specifically have standards, it makes Black men say, no, I don't, Black women, you shouldn't have standards, but it also make them say, well, then I'm not going to look at you as an option anyway, at all, Black women as a whole. And it makes other Black women who would say, you know, pick me. And it's like
Right.
now, because all these other Black women are having standards, they're making it seem like I have standards, which is actually giving me less options because now he's not even gonna look at me because I'm Black. It's like, when he wasn't gonna look
You
at
know,
you
and
anyway.
I think you're making a valid point. I think you make a valid point there.
You know, the reality is most Black men won't look at her. She would want a bus driver, but most Black men are going to look at you because you look too Black, and that's the reality. It's like that you don't have the look that most Black men are going for. The one who would take a bus driver, you know, it's like that. And she's saying that so maybe she would have more options, but she wouldn't be their option anyway. So it's like I don't understand why it is that we're trying to put out this, and I think it's not only just irresponsible, but it's dangerous to sit there and have women go for people in situations that are not going to serve their interests, because then you're going to have a situation that's going to be a dysfunctional relationship. It's not going to go well. And there's so many women who have done exactly what she's saying do and have had very poor outcomes. So look at what a relationship dynamic is going to be in that type of particular situation.
Well,
look at
I'm
it, you have
thinking they
children with a situation like that. It's not going to go well. And it's like, it's not going to produce. You're going to produce a situation where the woman's unsatisfied, the man is unsatisfied, and they're both at odds with each other. It's not going to work.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
play
so
her
people need
response.
to.
Let me play her response, because then I want to play a little clip from the Breakfast Club so y'all can see how they attacked her, and then I'm gonna play this Umar thing. So hold on, because I'm still gonna be on here, but I'm gonna go to the gym while we on here. I'm gonna switch, but I want to play the videos first. So hold on, let me play her response.
Wait, you're gonna go to the gym?
And D's
I'ma still
your
be on here,
report
yeah.
cards, only to then be coddled by parents that said, well, that's okay, as long as you're doing your
Let
best.
me refresh this though.
Well, listen, I love and believe in the excellence of.
Hang on a minute.
So out of the 50,000 plus comments posted on social,
Is it better to hear?
I only saw a handful that even
Yeah, it's much better.
possibility of a bus owner being a more aspirational position, and recognizing that I am actually speaking and pouring into the ascension of Black men when I said what I said. But see, no, some of y'all were too busy naming and shaming me personally and Black women in general as undesirable, gold diggers, and much worse. Now, I suspect that some of y'all are the same men that were bringing home C's and D's on your report cards, only to then be coddled by parents that said, well, that's okay, as long as you're doing your best. Well, listen, I love and believe in the excellence of Black men. So no, my dear, C's and D's or any other form of mediocrity is not okay. No, I will not create a soft place for you or anybody that I love to fall comfortably into the bigotry of low expectations. So I'm gonna say one more time. So out of the 50,000, there's absolutely nothing wrong with driving a bus. My mother Gloria drove one for years. But could it be that Black America has been sold a narrative of average, regular, and typical being good enough for us? Well, see, that's called white supremacy. And in this case, it takes the form of conditioning Black Americans to happily accept being a permanent American underclass. But see, because I know the truth about Black folk in America, no, average is not and will never be good enough for me. And the gag is, I don't think it's good enough for you either.
Okay, so that was her response back to the level of backlash that she got. And well, y'all can go, if y'all have commentary on it, you can go first, because I wanted to ask y'all a question.
Yeah, no, ask your question. I agree 100% on what you said. I mean,
Well, she ended up going on a, I'm not going to say an apology tour, but she did end up apologizing, saying that she apologized for being insensitive. I don't think she was insensitive. I think it's just she's been bullied. And I think it was on, I think it was on Instagram or something, but she apologized because she said her wording was insensitive. I don't think it was. I think, like I said, people are literally twisting what she said to make it seem like she's attacking, essential workers and the average person. And it's like by saying she's not going to, so she faced a lot of criticism from it. And this, even, and it bothers me because like even people who I respect, like Angela or I went up on it, and speaking on, how, people are bus drivers and these people are important. Like, who cares? She never said that they weren't important. She never said that it's a problem for people to be a bus driver, or, I'm pretty sure at some point in her life, she dated someone who was an average worker, and I'm saying average because if you're a bus driver, you're an average worker. I don't care if people want to, pussyfoot around it. It's like you're being basic. It's a reality. It's like I'm not making millions, but I'm smart enough to know that it's like if I'm going on if I'm a bus driver, I'm not really
aspiring to be anything, right?
I'm not, I didn't get my degree to go work as a bus driver. That's just common sense. You're working your way up, and then she's saying that she's worked her way past that, and that she wants a person who has leveled up as well, because that's not ambitious to her. And it's like, who would want something like that? But anyway, she.
Well, the
did
thing
end up
is that
apologizing.
I think the reason why she apologized is because the other lady had went on there and she was like, if he wants to be a bus driver and he's happy with being a bus driver, so this is his choice, regardless to if it is like, can I really finish?
To be a bus driver.
Some people go to doctors to get their doctorate or whatever. They go to medical school and they choose to be a nurse rather than a doctor because they like the being able to care for the people that actually.
I get that. I understand.
So if that is, I think that's why she kind of twisted, and that's why she made that apology, because it's like, I don't mean to minimize someone who that might be your choice. However, it is still her choice to choose someone who are at a higher financial level.
And she just saying, and she didn't say financial. She said she wants them to have ownership. She wants them to be ambitious. She wants them to be a person of excellence and want more for themselves.
Right.
And so
that's
all. It's
so
like,
that
you
person
can
who's a nurse instead of a doctor, that for them that is excellent. For them that is enjoyment.
Different.
For them that is exactly what they want.
But can you stop? I'm going to stop you right there, because the reality is you can still, like I say, if he wanted to be a bus driver. Okay, still, he wanted to be a bus driver, so he just wouldn't drive buses, but still own something. You can own houses. You can be a real estate now. Or something. But she's saying she wants someone who is ambitious and wants ownership over something, not just to be in services, but an ownership. And that's who wouldn't want something like you should want someone who's going to want more for themselves and want ownership and want to be an executive and not just of your own, not just of someone else's.
What I think the real issue is,
you want to be a nurse or something, still do that, but do something else too. Work to aspire for greatness, and that's all she's saying. It works for her and what she's looking for in a personal relationship.
Right, like you could be at a higher level of assistance, like if he wants to be a nurse, so he can have the interpersonal interaction with the patients. Then maybe own the doctor's office and still be the nurse.
But again, the point is this, and I think that's what people are taking the point away. She's speaking to her personal preferences in a dating partner, and that's what she was asking about. She was not asking about, like this entire derailing of her statement is just, I almost think as though people can just get more ratings, so people can just have talking points, because the fact that they've actually twisted what she said to villainize her and attack her, I think one of the reasons is so people have something to talk about and get more ratings. Right. But the other thing is, I really do think it's because she put out some standards, and she's a Black woman, and the biggest crime in history is
to be a Black woman
and have some standards for herself, because it's like, and this is the thing that bothers me, is like, you have this dude who literally just got choked out on the train, and they could be talking about that. You won't see Black men rallying in big numbers, and that should be the big talking point. Like, but you're going to go and berate and and this is like attack on black women now because another black woman has some standards. So that's just like, you know, everyone get your swords out, and black women are getting their swords out too and saying like, no, you should date a bus driver. This person is sufficient for you. It's like, no, it's like, why is it that we have to bully black women who have standards? Like, this is the problem. It really is.
That's why I was gonna ask y'all a question. I was gonna say, why do you think black women, because we already know bandits are lazy, they're hypergamous, they're gold diggers. So what one of the issues they have with this is that the way that black men enter into the middle class is through marrying black women who have more money than them. The way that black men come up financially is through marrying black women, much like how Mary J. Blige and Wendy Williams and Sherry Shepherd are paying money to black men who had less than them because they married them. So that's how a lot of black men come up. Actually, when the Goldman Sachs thing came out, black men were in the comment sections like, oh, well, just marry a black woman who got money with no prenup and then you'll be fine. So they already know their way to wealth is the feminine way, is by marrying, because typically that's how women get wealth. They marry wealthy men, they pass it down. Well, bandits are now hypergamous gold diggers. Ebony, they can't afford for Ebony Williams to be sitting up here influencing other wealthy black women to understand the detriment to dating down. Because if Ebony K. Williams was to even date a bus driver and somehow become impregnated by him, and he decided to even get joint custody, who do you think is going to be paying child support between Ebony K. Williams and the bus driver?
But we know she is. But
child support, so he would still come up.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm really glad you brought that up because it all is, that's one bit of it. But look at those relationships where, you know, you saw Wendy Williams. Why do you think that relationship fell apart? Because I guarantee you, part of the reason, even if it's, let's just say, you know, two people fall in love, that happens too. But the reality is that relationship isn't going to work because he's going to have problems with her. He's going to have problems.
Because when he actually got out of that relationship, he used Wendy Williams' money to court and wine and dine and give gifts to this. Yeah,
well, the thing is, what happened with Wendy Williams is what statistically happens when a woman is in a relationship where she makes more money than the man. What happens statistically is that it increased the chances of abuse, it increased the chances of infidelity, it increased the overall chances of unhappiness on the part of the man. So what Wendy Williams' husband did, probably due to feeling inadequate because he was working for Wendy Williams at the end of the day because he had nothing, is he went out and found a woman that he was better than socioeconomic wise, cheated on Wendy Williams with her, created a side child. Then when Wendy Williams divorced him, she then had to pay him alimony. So now he has her money to sit up and live off on while he sits up here with his side chick and his side baby that he had while he was married to Wendy. That's the same thing that happened with Mary J. Blige. I don't think that Kendu had a child outside of their relationship, but Mary J. Blige is still working now because she has to pay alimony to a man who cheated on her. So this whole scenario here would be a come up for black men. This is what they believe they should do. And in order to elevate themselves, find you a desperate black woman who has a lot of money. You know, she's going to be a black male worshiper. You know, she going to want to get married. She ain't going to require you to sign a prenup because she's desperate. Beggars can't be choosers. Then you're already in there. You lay claim to her money. Even if you cheat on her and she divorced because of no fault divorce, she's still going to pay you alimony because she makes more money than you.
Right.
This is a hustle for them. It's a hustle. And it's like, how dare Ebony Williams come out and say that a bus driver who really is less than her is less than her. Like the requirements to be a bus driver, the high school diploma, Ebony is a lawyer. She is an attorney. So she took it above and beyond what she needed to, way above and beyond what a bus driver would be doing. Nobody aspires to be a bus driver. They don't. They settle for being a bus driver because they don't have a lot of other employment options. It just is what it is.
Like,
It's so annoying to try to make this be about anything other than sheltering Black men and keeping them on the bottom. And I really believe that Black women have a vested interest in keeping Black men on the bottom, because that's the only way they're gonna have access to them. It keeps them having access to them.
Yep, 100%. I 100%.
Yeah, because statistically, the more a Black man elevates socioeconomic wise, the less likely he is to deal with a Black woman. Black women know that. They know that. It's in songs with Kanye West saying, well, and when he get on, he leave your ass for a white girl. It's the starter wife phenomena where a Black woman decides to build up a bandit. He gets money, he leaves her, he goes with a white woman or just a non-Black woman in general. So Black women know that this is a fact. They know this is a fact. That the
Well,
more
I mean, you can see that by looking at all the celebrities, all the Black celebrities. They're on the camera, them with their wives, and they're Asian, they're white, they're Latinx, they're anything, they're high yellow, even albino, anything that is not remotely Black, then they'll settle for that. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah.
and Black women know that. So the Black women know that. So it's like, how dare you get some standards and try to say that Black men need to be excellent or elevate? No, if Black men elevate, then we don't have access to them. And so I think Black women do have a disgusting vested interest in keeping bandits on the bottom. And what Black women don't understand is that you're at the point to where it's like, choose yourself or choose them, and you're choosing them and you're gonna take a big L on it because they're not gonna choose you. What they're doing is for their survival. So they'll exploit you. They put out messages telling other Black men to toe tag you, and you sitting up here attacking a woman who's telling you what you should do, which is the best for the community. Lift your standards. You need
And the
to
best for yourself and for the community.
Huh?
The best for yourself and for the community. She's not just saying do something that's bad for the community. It's literally best for yourself as well as the community, as well as future generations.
Yeah, and that's why you have a bunch of these celebrities coming out and attacking her, because they want to maintain the status quo. They have an obsession, a weird obsession with some expendable treasonous bucks. It doesn't make any sense. Everybody can see how problematic they are. Literally, it took white women about 50 years to find out about how Black men act. Although Black women been dealing with them for hundreds of years, forever, since they've been in existence. And it only took white women about 54 years of dealing with them legally in this country to say, yeah, this ain't it. And that's why they all online talking about how problematic these bandits are. And here go Black women still acting like they don't have a clue. That's why I'm saying their obsession with these trash bag bandits is literally going to be their undoing. It's going to be Black women's undoing. And they act like they don't understand that. Or maybe like the self-value is so diminished that it's like, well, I don't care about my own existence. The only thing I care about is whether or not a Black man would choose me. But it is, whatever it is, it's a sickness. I do know that it's a sickness. That's
well, I do believe, like you said, their self-value is extremely diminished because everything in society tells a Black woman that there was a show that I was just watching the other day, and there was this, I think it was on Tiny TKO. And there was these guys talking about if a girl sleep with them on the first day. I don't know if you've seen that one, but they're pretty much saying, well, if she sleeps with me on the first day, then like pretty much she's a whore. But then if she don't, then it's like, what is wrong with me? So then I don't like her because then she's uppity and she's like, you know, thinks she's better than me. And so pretty much they're going to diminish your self-image or your self-esteem in any way possible, because you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And that's in every aspect of being a Black woman. If your hair is too nappy, then you know, you're nappy headed. If you wear your hair straight, then now you're trying to look white. If you know, there's like everything you do in every direction is gonna be wrong to them. And they're doing this so they can diminish your self-esteem. So then they can make them feel better about where they are in life, even where, you know, instead of getting to a better state of life. Like,
okay, let me play the DJ Envy clip so y'all can hear how emotional he was, and then we'll go into Umar Johnson, because these clips are not that long, so I'll be able to play them. And what I meant by me going to the gym, Ella, is that I'm still going to be on the Zoom call. I'm just going to be commenting in between running on the treadmill. So I'll still be, not going to just I'm just trying to get the videos out of the way first so that I don't have to worry about how we're gonna play them. So let me play this clip here, the audio of it.
A beat. So I would love to know how you, Envy, know what I'm looking for. We never had the conversation.
I'm asking, I'm telling you what people are saying on comments without.
Go back to it because I want you to hear all
Just
that.
asking.
So
Oh, they didn't. Put
I would
the
love
part.
to know how you, Envy, know what I'm looking for.
So this clip, I paused it because at this clip, they started it after, and I think they did that purposely. They started it. Let me find the actual clip so you can really hear what he's saying, because he immediately brings up her white ex-husband. Yeah, let me find this on YouTube really quickly.
Yeah, I love their strategic editing to change the narrative of any topic that was being talked about. It's like they really do some, huh?
And he was just really hostile and disgusting. And I think she did wonderful. I so commend this woman.
Absolutely positively
She's so
true.
graceful
People
with
are
them.
upset that
Okay, I found the minute mark, so just go ahead. And
Okay,
then
we're ready.
okay, let me play it.
Very good point yesterday, Charlamagne, talking about essential workers. Okay. America found out, if we didn't know before, how essential our bus drivers, our MTA drivers, our home health nurses, our custodians, our grocery store workers were during fast food, all of it during COVID. And God knows we were ringing those pots and shouting them out, and God bless our essential workers. Nobody loves them more than your girl here. But you know what I don't love is that Black folks died at a 2-to-1 rate of during COVID, that Black folks were on ventilators more often during COVID. And part of the reason why that was the case, y'all, is because we over-index in the blue collar working sector, in the essential jobs. And many of us don't have the option that we all had, which was to do our jobs virtually. So we are on the front lines in a way that disproportionately makes us vulnerable. We're dying because of it. That is my issue, not to disrespect these people.
I feel like you're changing the goalposts, right? What people were upset about was what you said, and everything that you said could absolutely positively be true. People were upset that they felt like that you were putting down the average person, quote unquote, average job, and the person that was working the average job, that their what they do is not as good as what you do.
That's a projection, Andy. That's a projection.
But look, being a bus driver is important or as good as being an attorney. Let's just be real. It's not. And it's not on any anywhere. Bus drivers are looked down on, and they are not seen as needed or as important as attorneys are. So let's just
he's trying to completely disregard the class system.
You're
Like
borging,
it
but-
doesn't exist.
Ella, you're borging.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Say it again.
Oh, I was just saying he's trying to completely disregard the class system as if it doesn't exist.
Yeah, right. And it is. It's a class difference. And the bottom line is being an attorney is better than being a bus driver. He can go sit somewhere and cry if he wants to.
So when you start talking about all this, and I read the comments just like you did, because I wanted to prepare myself when you came up here to understand what people were mad about, and understand what people were upset about. So when you're talking about all this brother this, and the Black man this, and the white supremacy this, and this, that, and the other, that's all to the side of how you felt about that quote unquote average job, right? And I'll be honest with you, right? One of the comments that I said, and maybe I'm not sure, right? The guy was like, you talk about all this about lifting a brother up and lifting this up and white supremacy and what you do for our people. And then the first thing the brother said was, but your fiance was white. And I'm sitting there like, how do you talk about how much you're uplifting and how much you're going for Black people, but that's not necessarily what you're even looking for?
Well, first of all,
Dr. Umar, man.
What infuriated me, because how many times do you have the plethora of Black men on there saying they can date white and still be what do you call it? Still pro-Black. Thank you. Still pro-Black and for the Black movement. I can have I can have all the white women in the world, and I marry white women. I only date white women, but I can still be. This can be my preference, and this is baseline for like most Black guys. This can be my preference, and I can still be pro-Black. But they literally have the audacity to say something to the fact that this woman has dated, because she's specified very clearly that she dates black man, and she's dated all kinds of guys. So the fact that, I'm sorry, that just really infuriated me, but you can just go on. It just so double
Well,
standard.
it kind of upset me as well of the fact that he assumed that she was looking. He's going to say that's not even what you're looking for, because she in her past dated a white guy. Like,
but if
you could
that's not what
actually
she's
more
looking for,
likely
then
assume
what's
that
the
she was.
problem? Because if he's gonna say, well, your ex-fiance was white, okay, well then why would you assume that she's talking about black men when she literally dated a white man last? In her, because
Right.
the
Well,
thing is,
damn if she
they
did, damn
were
if she
attacking
don't.
her. But Ella, they were attacking her before she made her response, mentioning the mediocrity of black men. Before she made that response, they were attacking her anyway. They were attacking her, saying she hates black
Right,
men.
of course.
They were doing the same thing. So their attack have literally nothing to do with her white ex-husband, because they were attacking her before finding out about it. But now the discussion has somehow shifted into this being an issue of her white ex-husband, which you go see when I play the Umar Johnson clip, and how he literally is sitting here talking about Q Umar Johnson, i.e. recruiting another person to attack her, when they've all literally set up there and attacked Umar Johnson for saying they shouldn't date white women. Like that's the type of contradiction I don't get, because they were attacking Umar Johnson when he went on a Breakfast Club and said that black men need to stop funneling their wealth over to white women through marriage. But now you want to sit up on this very thing and attack this woman when you were sitting there defending black men's right to be with white women to Umar Johnson? That's
Exactly.
Right.
But
And if
he's like
she's
the
getting,
daughter-
more than likely, if she's telling you that she's not going to date a bus driver, her white guy was not anywhere of any lower class. He was not a bus driver. He was not a cook. He was not, I mean, not to, bring up lower class
he's a
professions or whatever, but
Like,
he just wasn't there. Like, obviously he wasn't there. Like, so she's still within the bracket of higher class, even with her white guy, if that's what she's looking for. So it's not like she has double standards for, oh, if he's white, he doesn't have like what black dudes do. They have double standards where if the woman is white, that's pretty much all she has to bring to the table is her whiteness. But if she's the black, she needs to be ride or die and all kinds of know how to cook and clean and stuff. Like, these white chicks don't be out there cooking and cleaning for nobody. But that's exactly the requirements that black dudes be having for black women. But like I said,
she said she wouldn't date a bus driver. She didn't say she wouldn't date a black bus driver. So I'm assuming she wouldn't date a bus driver no matter what race he is.
Which means that her white dude wasn't a bus driver. So that's my point. So why did the race even get in there if her white dude wasn't a bus driver?
He wasn't.
She wasn't talking about her point wasn't the skin color. Her point was the quality of the person.
He wanted to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at her to have people attacking her. They like anybody, any kind of situation. It's like let's bring it up. It was disgusting.
Yeah, they're disgusting. Attacking this woman and bringing up like the last white man that she was her ex-fiance, he was a hedge fund manager. So clearly she's living consistently to what she's saying, regardless to race. Because if that was the case, I'm pretty sure she can get any white bus driver that she wants on the planet, anywhere. It doesn't even matter where he at. She can be with any white dude if she wants to, because she actually is, even based off statistics and studies, she's the type of black woman that white men favor, accordingly to what they say that white men like mostly. She fits that description. So she wouldn't have a problem getting a white man.
And that's why they hate. They literally, you could see the rage of her having standards and of having, and I think it is because she has, she's very successful. She's very intelligent and educated, and to have a black woman of this stature sit and tell other black women to have standards and black men or men in general to be leaders and be protectors and have something of value for the community and for the person that you're trying to date or be in a relationship with. It really, imagine if women actually took this on board. What would it look like for men? Imagine.
No,
Like,
they
it
wouldn't
would
have
change things.
They wouldn't have-
Exactly. Exactly. And so their interest in this is like, no, we go, not only like they didn't really change anything in terms of what she said, like they didn't invalidate what she was saying, but at the end of that interview, they're like, well, she did change, apologize, or she did change kind of what she said about it. Like they tried to find a way to make it seem like they did humble her a little bit based on their arguments about it. And
this is why I never apologize for
chastising her.
anything I say. This is why I don't apologize. I constantly stand 10 toes down on everything that I say, and I will continue to, because
Oh, absolutely.
I don't care about Black men's feelings. Like I don't care. Black men ain't doing
because she didn't change.
Like, I don't care about anyone's feelings when it comes to what I desire. If I desire something, fuck your feelings. Like, get out your feelings. It has nothing to do with you.
I'm saying that was false too. But that was false too because they didn't. She was very clear, even to the point of having to educate them on what the definitions meant to the words that she was saying. So what he was saying is a lie. It's like, you didn't change anything that she said. Like you sound like a damn fool. But the fact that other people were on there saying,
He had
and
himself on the back
on,
to give himself an attaboy.
There's people in the chat box saying that she never apologized.
I read something that she said that she apologized for being quote unquote insensitive in her wording. I'll go back and look for where I read that and follow up in the comments, but that's what I read. I did read that she apologized for being insensitive in her wording. That was the gist of what I read. And I was like, well, why would she apologize too? And she certainly didn't seem to in the interview on the Black Chicks Club. And I was really proud of her for being very clear.
Well, and the thing is, why would they say that? Why would they also say that on their show that she apologized? Well, at least she,
They said that, but I think
didn't happen.
They were lying. Like when you watch the interview and Cynthia, when you put it through, make sure you put it. You don't see that they're lying. And then I said,
well, I was thinking it was based on the apology that you said she gave. I was thinking it was based on the apology that you said she gave.
Her last interview was the Breakfast Club one, unless she just did one just yesterday. Then her last interview was the Breakfast Club, and she
didn't say something that was said in that interview. Then maybe that was I did read something that said that she apologized for being insensitive in her wording. That's what I read. I don't know where I read it. I thought I read it.
I didn't hear her apologize. I heard her saying she doesn't have time to care about anybody's feelings. She doesn't operate in feelings. So
I don't.
So they may have put it out there as her apology, but I didn't hear her apologizing on the Breakfast Club. I didn't hear her doing it. I didn't hear her doing it at all. But let's get into Umar Johnson, because Umar Johnson is so annoying. I used to think he was smart, but I'm starting to think that he's just a bandit, just like everybody else. I'm really starting to think that. And then there's one part in here. Well, I'm gonna let y'all hear it, and then I'll stop it when y'all hear it, because it's like, really, Umar? Yeah, no. Hold on.
You are trying to condemn Black men to jump that, but the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women. At the end of the day,
I wish she would have asked Iyanla, what do you mean by the standards that we have is off for who we are as women? What do you mean by that? I wish
I thought she was, that's the one passage that she said that I agreed with. And I don't think that's what she said specifically. Can you rewind into what she said? Because when she said that, I was like, oh.
She did. She said, well, in the full clip, she said that our standards are off for who we are as women and who they are in society. That's
exactly, and I agree. I agree with her 100%. Because who they are in society are men who can get choked out and killed any day by anybody, and nobody will do anything about it. They're the kind of men who get discriminated against on a regular basis. And Ebony mentioned it. They have the worst outcomes and the worst thing across the board. That is lower education, and you can sit there and say it isn't, but those are the facts. So for women to think that they're going to get a great guy out of these type of men who don't father their children, who don't want to show up and provide, who have a reputation that's like horrendous historically, and it's some of the biggest numbers in DV and everything, for women to think that they can actually have a wonderful outcome of a relationship and marriage with these type of men, it is lunacy. So I do agree with her that fact
Well,
that a
I
lot of Black
agree.
women
I
still
agree
think that
with
these
her
are great relationships potentials. This is you're going to go find great men out of this, and it's distorted thinking. So she's right. We should be thinking like, let me go grab someone out of the prison who was a bus driver, who probably using fake information to even be a bus driver, and try to, that's the reality. Because it's like, just like this woman is saying, I'll date a bus driver. Well, that would be her option, because she would need to have something to give to that, to
Or be
somebody
happily
in order to have them even show up. Because guess what? They're not even looking for someone who looks like her. So she can be successful and everything like that, but she don't fit the bill anyway. So it is unrealistic for Black women to start thinking that they're going to find great potential mates from the men that are out there, the landscape. It is. We're not in touch with reality, the majority of us.
Well,
And
I
according to
do
them,
agree.
Well, maybe
I-
I'm
I do
delusional,
agree.
but I think that men will do better if their options start running out.
I don't even think I think a small portion of Black men will do better, but what I interpreted what she said as, you're asking for the nothing ass bitches of society to do something that will require them to not be nothing ass bitches in society, and nothing ass bitches can't meet standards. So I understand what she's saying, and it's essentially what you said too, Onyx, but I would want Iyanla to tell me what she meant by saying that. Because Iyanla's whole thing in here was to ignore that women and men's position in society is symbiotic. If women are going to be in a feminine position, that means men have to be in the traditional masculine role, and they're not. So the reason I would have asked Iyanla that question is so that I can hear her acknowledge the position of the men in the community, because it is. What she's saying is that these men cannot measure up to your standards, which is the same thing that Ebony is saying.
Right,
Ebony they don't measure up.
But what Iyanla will do, which is the same thing Umar does, is would give a plethora of reasons why they can't, because society is racist, because there's infrastructure in place to keep them down, because there are prisons and stuff, but all the reasons that they won't do anything about those things. So it's like she would give a million reasons
Black
why
women face too, but it's also everything that you mentioned Black women disproportionately
face. She would give 1,000 reasons why that they're in the condition that they're in, and why there's oppression. And it's like, why aren't you changing? The only thing that's stopping that's continuing on these systems is the fact that the people who are putting these into place have a higher will and desire for them to remain in place than Black men have. And as soon as that changes, because these things wouldn't happen if they weren't allowed to happen. So they continue because you allow them to continue, and you don't do anything about it. But the fact of the matter is, if Black men don't take care of their own kids, they ain't gonna take care of the woman that they with. So and the reality is, they're not taking care of their kids. And until you can show me the ones who are taking care of their kids, by and large, I'm gonna laugh at the idea that men are going to go out and be great in relationships. Because you can't even take care about your own kids, then you're not going to care about anybody else, in my opinion.
Okay, let me play this clip, and then because it's 8 minutes and I have 15 minutes before I switch to my phone and then go to the gym. So let me play this clip.
Trying to condemn Black men to justify dating white. If you are an interracial dater, if you are a bunny hopper, then what you are telling me is your whole diatribe, your whole rant against Black men driving a bus was a justification so you can date a white man. I hope that ain't the case. Where the fuck is the group solutions at, Ebony K?
Wait, why does Ebony, a woman, need to come up with the group solutions and give them to a man who's supposed to be the leader of the community? Why? Like, why do you keep asking women for the solutions? That's one. Number two, Ebony don't need no justification for dating a white man beyond she wants to. It's like, really? Like, they're always bringing up this dumb stuff. So she has to go bring up all this data that's true about Black men just to justify dating a white man when she has the right to just go date whoever she wants to?
But the thing is, like, why did she have to do that? Why are we calling for her to do all this when she's just speaking on her dating preferences? What the hell? Like, really? So because she had the dating preference, now she needs to be called into action for all this other nonsense. Get out of here.
Like, it's just so annoying. Let me get back to it.
Solutions Act.
Right. That's why I'm like, why are they policing?
I saw that sister on the Breakfast Club this morning. What's her name? Erica K. Williams. What's the sister who was on there with Charlamagne and Envy today? Very
Right.
well-spoken sister. What's her name? I've seen her. What's the sister who was on the Breakfast Club today? Peace, African. I'll see you when I get in there. Let me finish this
They're
live.
the authority. They're the society is.
What's the sister's name who was on there today? What's the sister's name, brothers and sisters? Ebony. Ebony
If
K.
you choose
Williams.
to date
Well
one,
spoken.
then you need to show receipts for how you deserve it.
Ebony.
And why you, and
Ella, I'm playing the video.
if you.
Oh, she probably can't hear because
Thinking outside of.
you're cutting out. Fix
So
your
that's how.
Ella. Fix your connection. You're cutting out, and it's clear you couldn't hear the video that I'm playing. Okay, let me
Just mute her and continue.
Yeah, well, I don't think she can hear us because she was talking all while the video was playing, but let me play it.
That's not what you was talking,
I
sweetheart.
can't hear.
That's not what you was talking. You was on some talented
But I'm not talking.
and you tried to take it back to the community this morning, sister. See, we can't talk out both sides of our mouth. We can't talk out both sides of our mouth, sister. We can't talk out both sides of our mouth. I didn't disagree with much of what you said today, but that's not what you said the other day, sister. You was talking down to working class blacks. You are
I'm
a
not
bourgeoisie.
talking.
You are a bourgeoisie feminist, and I hope to God you wasn't engaged in a white man.
I can't hear it. I'm not
You're-
talking.
Ebony,
I'm eating.
I better not find out your ass was swimming in the milk. If I find out your ass was swimming in the milk, I'm gonna lose a lot of respect for you,
Who
sister.
cares?
Because
Who cares? Is anybody out here trying to get Umar Johnson's respect? It's sitting there like, this is bullying at this point. And he better not find out she was swimming in the milk and she would have wife. Like, who are you? You the daddy to some kids that you allegedly ain't even taking care of. So stop acting like you Ebony's daddy. You already got some kids that you're neglecting. And like, it's just annoying. You don't get to sit up here and tell her who you better not find out that she's with. Like, who are you?
Right? Like his respect is something that everybody aspires to have.
Yeah, let's continue with this foolishness.
that tells me if you were with a damn Neanderthal snow puppy, then you're telling me at the end of the day, you are trying to condemn black men to justify dating white. If you are an interracial dater, if you are a bunny hopper, then what you are telling me is your whole diatribe, your whole rant against black men driving the bus was a justification so you can date a white man. I hope that ain't the case. I hope that ain't. You spoke well today, my sister.
Listen, these bandits don't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, but they sure do got the audacity, don't they? Like these are nothing ass bitches, literally nothing to their names. They have lint in their pockets, or I think they can't even afford the lint that's in their pockets, but they sure do got a whole bunch of audacity to sit up here and tell black women who they can and cannot be with. Like who do you think you are? Because it wouldn't matter Ebony K's motivation. Let's say hypothetically, all of this is motivated by Ebony K. Williams wanting to date a white man when she literally just broke up with one. And she stated that she just broke up with one because he wasn't even sufficient for her. Even though he was a hedge fund manager, he still wasn't sufficient for her. But let's hypothetically say, yeah, she was doing it to justify dating a white man. It doesn't change the fact that y'all nothing ass bitches though. You still underachiever.
Right.
Like, so none of that goes away.
Right. She shouldn't have a justification.
Validating her. Huh? Oh, let me
Right.
play.
She shouldn't have a shouldn't be able to find a justification being the quality of black men aren't great.
One, it wouldn't matter. Her justification can be there. Okay, she used black men's failures essentially to justify dating a white man. It sounds logical. You ain't measuring up, so therefore she got to go get men who are. It's really just
right. She shouldn't be able to deny their failures. It's a scene. It's like,
Ella, you're
fix your
boring.
failures, like fix your faults, fix your
Ella, you're
flaws.
boring. You're
Like, I don't
boring.
understand why they don't understand there's something that you
Yeah, your connection is really bad, but let me finish playing this video.
You still didn't deal with collective work and responsibility, though. I still heard a lot of Eurocentric individualism. I still heard a lot of Eurocentric individualism. And I don't know where you've been getting your reports from, sweetheart, but we got 2 million Africans with college degrees unemployed. We got 2 million Africans with college degrees unemployed because you was doing a whole lot of pushing college. You was doing a whole lot of pushing college today, like it's some form of upward mobility. I'm sorry, Sister Ebony K. Williams. College is not an opportunity for 21st century Africans.
Now, I want you to listen to what he's saying, because when Ebony goes into the fact that these bandits are not graduating college, they're not getting degrees, they're not getting high-paying jobs, this dude then comes on here, who, by the way, is trying to convince people that he's a doctor, which would obviously mean that he went to college as well. Those will be his credentials, what makes his opinion valid. Yet he's over here shaming education, engaging in anti-intellectualism. So if we're looking at Black men not obtaining college degrees, you can't blame that on the system when you got Umar Johnson here, one of the so-called leaders, very influential in the Black community, encouraging Black men to not go to college. This is why they're not getting, this is why you win those nothing ass bitch positions, because it doesn't take a college degree to be a bus driver. That's what the thing. It is a mediocre position. The only thing you need is a high school diploma to be a bus driver. And this bandit is sitting up here telling people not to go to college, saying that it's not the path to upward mobility. It may not be the path to upward mobility, but it's the path to you getting paid more. It's the difference between a person being a nothing ass bitch bus driver and being an attorney and gaining wealth. Is definitely the difference between that. But how can you say this is a systemic issue when Black men are literally sitting up here telling other Black men not to go to college, saying that it's not the path to upward mobility? Okay, well then what is, Umar? Because you ain't been upwardly mobile. Y'all still in the nothing ass bitch position of society. So clearly you don't know what the path is.
Have to drop the mic at that point.
And I know Coco in the chat must be a Black male worshiper, talking about a high school diploma is still educational. Yeah, basic, regular, average, mediocre education. A high school diploma is a mediocre level of education. And that's why people who only have high school diplomas, they get mediocre jobs and mediocre pay. Now you can sit there and talk about the exceptions to that, the rare occurrence when a person has no education and then they go off and invent something and become a millionaire. That's not Black men's story, obviously. That's obviously not Black men's story, while they sit up and cost the government $50 billion because they're broke, shunning education and not even able to get good jobs. And then they want to complain, oh, well, we will locked off the workforce. Yeah, because your dumb ass don't want to go get an education so you can get into it. Black women ain't the ones here making comments saying, oh, well, education ain't the path to upward mobility. Black men are, and it just so happens that they're the least educated, the least employed, with the least money in society. Still ain't made the connection between education and upward mobility, though.
Hey, I'm embarrassed.
College is not an opportunity for 21st century Africans. It's putting us into debt to the banks, my sister Ebony K. Williams. So where is your solution for collective group economics? I didn't hear none of that. All I heard was European, Eurocentric, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, individualism. That's all the hell I heard this morning. I wish I was there.
Look, he gonna say he wish he was there. Why? You wish you was there so you can scream she hates Black men because you can't answer a question just like you did on Foxhole? Why is he acting like if he was there, he would have contributed anything other than whining ass tears? If you go watch that Foxhole thing, the only thing seen Umar. Oh, she hates black men. Oh, system analysis. Well, she just hates black men. These women ain't coming up with no solutions. Really, that's what you would have did. You would have did exactly what you did on Fox.
Because he wants to trigger all his that's his way of saying attack Dusty.
Yeah, like he's so annoying. Like you sitting here, this is a dummy that's sitting here talking about he's building a school, but then talking about education ain't the pathway to upward mobility. That's probably why you ain't got that school built and open then.
It's because the people we subscribe to are not intellectual. They really don't apply critical thinking. It's just like, this is people of one mind, and all you have to do is say the trigger words, she hates black women, and that's all he has to say. and he'll get the reaction he wants.
Yeah, but this is, if anybody is wondering, this is why he don't got the school open. He's telling y'all that he's going to build this school to educate all these boys, although he doesn't feel that education is the pathway to upward mobility. This is why he's sitting there finessing you out of your money, telling you that he building a school that he don't even believe in. And that's why it's been, 15 going on 20 years, he still ain't got that school built, because he doesn't believe in it.
But he can still con women out of their
he
money.
doesn't believe in education.
He doesn't need to, because people will still follow him, because he'll still be their mouthpiece for ignorance.
Yeah, he's black and male, so therefore whatever he say is his word.
I was there. I wish I was at the Breakfast Club today with Ebony K. Williams. I had a few comments and questions for my sister. Oh yes, no disrespect, I love my sister. Don't get me wrong now. She said some good things today, but she departed from the original narrative she was pushing on our working class Africans the other day. She departed from her attack on black males with blue collar jobs. Ebony K. Williams, do you know that you got plumbers who make more money than doctors?
Here they go.
Ebony K. Williams, do you know you got carpenters who make more money than surgeons? Ebony K. Williams, do you know you got chefs who make more money than engineers?
So now you got this genius using the very rare exception to try to act like he's doing anything other than establishing the rule. The only thing you're doing is establishing the rule, because it's very, very, very rare to find a plumber who makes more than a doctor. Very rare. And if that wasn't the case, if that was the standard, then why would you go to school to be a doctor if you can just get paid more being a plumber? This is an idiot. And the reason why Black people in the community are so dumb is because their leaders are dumb. A person who don't believe that education it leads to upward mobility, so what, driving a bus do? Getting the education doesn't lead to upward mobility, but being a bus driver will though. Being a plumber will. Being in a blue collar job will lead you to upward mobility. Although you're in those jobs because you lack education, meaning there's a cap on how much you get paid and how much upward mobility you'll see. But nonetheless, education is not the path to upward mobility, says Umar Johnson, who's convincing y'all that he's building a school that he ain't built yet.
Who make more money than architects? I think you got to go look at your census data, my sister. You got to go look at your census data, my sister. You got to go look at your census data a little bit.
I think he's going way more into
Eurocentric.
What?
positions than she did. He's
What?
going way more into it, because like she said, she wouldn't date a bus driver unless he was the owner of the bus. So he's going off like saying, oh, there's chefs that make more money than engineers. Then she would probably date that chef because he's still at a higher class level than the bus driver.
But that's the rare exception. If you, on average, chefs do not make more than engineers.
No, absolutely not. Yeah,
Like,
most chefs that do, they own the restaurant, and they are also celebrity chefs.
Yeah, now,
But look,
celebrity chefs probably do. Celebrity chefs probably do, or chefs
Right.
who own the restaurant. But keyword ownership. Ebony simply said, if he owns the bus, then yeah, I'll
Right.
date. So she would, of course, she would date a chef who owns the restaurant. She would.
Right. So he's literally just like, again, he's pretending like class isn't a thing.
Yeah, he is.
Like she's talking about the class level.
Well, because class is not a thing for Black men because they're low class. And that's where they've been. They've been in the underclass. And it kind of looks like they ain't gonna get out of it. And they want to keep the meal ticket and the only way for them to get out of it, which is Black women.
Fuck by
It's
your
hilarious to me that all this.
I didn't hear a single.
She won't date a bus driver.
What?
Like this, what the world? It's just comical that this outrage is all happening because a Black woman said she won't date a bus driver. Like this is the talk of the town. You got everybody tuning in.
No, she even had a unless.
Yeah, she said unless.
Right.
No,
She didn't even say she
didn't
won't
even
date a
say
bus
no.
driver.
But she didn't even say no. She said,
Right.
the bus, yes, I will date him. If he owns the bus, yes. That's what she said.
Right.
No, never even came out her mouth. But this isn't because she won't date a bus driver. It's because she mentioned the low class, the mediocrity of it. And Black men know that they are the mediocre men in society. They know it. They're admitting to it whenever they complain about what she said and says, oh, she talking about Black men. Then you're admitting that Black men are the men who are the mediocre males of society. The nothing ass bitches, just like what I said. So I bet not see y'all over here crying either, since you agreeing that you are the nothing ass bitches of society. It just is what it is. They're just disgusting to me. Let me finish this. I'm gonna put this all the way through because then I'm gonna run out.
Solution on that conversation today from Sister Ebony. I didn't hear a single group solution. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. No disrespect. I respect my sister. Very articulate, well-spoken, but I don't hear a lot of conscious energy coming from her. A lot of my middle-class, bougie Black sisters, they on that individualism, Europeanness. Peace, Baba. I'm gonna get with you in a minute. I saw a lot of European individualism, brothers and sisters. Where the group solutions at? Oh, just go to college and get yourself a job and save your money from your bus job and open up a business. Where the is the group solution at, Ebony K?
Solution, dummy. Let's see, he's too stupid. The reason why y'all are always asking what the solution is because you're too dumb to understand what the solution is. Level up
When you see it.
providers and protectors, dummy. Get into ownerships. So Remedio, she told you what the solution is. You're just too dumb to grasp it. Like he's dumb. He's really dumb. And I really thought he was smart. And now I just see that he's dumb. What he is he's just a good con man, but he's actually really dumb. Well,
It seems like he's really good at twisting people's words and making and making videos. I mean, because that's pretty much what he's doing.
But it's not Ebony's job to come up with a community solution for Black men. That is not her job. Especially not Black men who running around talking about they leaders, they alpha males, you need to submit to them. God put them here to be above you. Okay, so be above us and make the money then. Go out and build the communities then. Stop asking us for solutions. But you sitting up here asking women for solutions as if you can't come up with them. Look, these nothing ass bitches were never leaders. They were never kings. They never ruled anything. Y'all are not going to convince me that they did. There's nothing in them. If you looking to other people to find solutions for you, you are not a leader and you never been one, as far as I'm concerned.
Get into government and change some policies. I mean, they could start there.
Well, they used to have some in government, but that got swept away. I sent you out the video.
Yeah, there's just any.
Lady Tasha K, where the group solutions at? Where the group? I ain't hear a single group solution out that sister's mouth this morning. Not a single group solution. A whole bunch of feminism and European individualism as collective work and responsibility. You can.
And then he's an idiot because he doesn't even know what feminism is.
Clearly, he does that.
Traditionalism, men being the provider and the protector and owning something, that's not feminism, that's traditionalism. If she was sitting up here saying, well, I want to take care of myself, I want to put in the work, she's not saying that. She's saying I don't. She's saying I want the man to be the provider and the protector. I don't want to have to bear these responsibilities. These idiots don't even know what feminism is. They're the feminists. Asking what group solutions is feminism.
Because she actually said, and that's what I find it offensive, because she actually was so humble to come and ask specifically. She said, I'm actually having to be more masculine. because of always having to do, that's her position. She's an alpha woman. And she's saying, how do I change that to get the right mate for myself? And then she said, well, date a bus driver. Like, what kind of advice is that?
Like, what? That
Will you
seems
date a bus driver?
insane.
It's like, seriously? I mean, come on now. Like that is not the solution. And to even put that out as a
Like,
solution.
how is a bus driver even a masculine position?
That's what, right. And I'm saying in such a situation where you were talking about a millionaire who's used to doing everything herself, and she's an attorney. So this is that type of position. You have to be you got to be assertive, you got to be intelligent. And I just lost, it looks like Sin and Ella. But it's like, to say, will you date a bus driver? Like, how is it, like, where in her mind did that make sense? I don't know. It's disappointing, because I would think that because of what she does, that she would know the statistics and the studies that show how those type of pairings just wouldn't likely render great results. Like, where in her mind, in matchmaking or even in psychology, would a woman who is an alpha woman, who finds herself, who self-proclaims to be a bit aggressive, right?
But desires a
domineering.
masculine man.
Right. And saying that she wants, and to kind of change her own kind of energy as well. For her to say, well, would you date a bus driver? Like, how would that pairing make sense to her?
Yeah, I don't feel like she was actually looking to help her or to actually find solutions to the issue. I think that she was just looking for reasons to be combative.
And that's why she was just looking for a moment to pander. It's like,
right.
She had a bit of mind, to be honest. And it's almost like, yeah, I get that there's, I feel like Black women right now we are the desperation, I should say, of Black women for a mate is
A Black one.
great. A mate. No, just a mate. It's just a mate in general. I feel like this is such a revenue stream for a lot of people. They are looking at the desperation saying, how can I monetize this? Right. And a lot of people are finding ways to monetize the desperation of Black women for a mate with Black men specifically, because that's where the money is. Because you're like, if you want this so badly, then you're willing to go and invest your money in changing yourself, invest your money in educating yourself, rebranding yourself, re-spiritualizing yourself, doing whatever you think you can do to have control of, to be more appealing to someone else, a Black man, when instead we're not going to look at ways that he can improve, because we know he's not going to even try. So you, who we see, will go and get a higher education. We see that you will go and try to parent your own children, be the best mom and dad to your child. We see that your ambition, and we see that you have the dedication. So we're going to try and put our focus on how we can capitalize on your desperation. And I feel like that's what, I don't even know her name, but that's what she does. And she does it quite well. And
it is, but everybody capitalizes off of Black women's desperation. And then rather than Black women, which to me is a big contradiction, you can't go around talking about Black girl magic and how strong you are, but then you're so weak that you're desperate for a man, and not just any man, because Black women mostly want Black men. So you want the most underachieving, disloyal men on the planet.
Yeah. And that's programmed. That's societal, cultural, religious programming. That's what that is.
Well, I
should say. And a lot of shaming as well. Because you see the attack and abuse you Black women face when they say they want to date outside their race.
It's programming, shaming, and bullying.
Yeah. And it's disgusting.
But I find it really disturbing that, like, guys are like, oh, chicks are aren't, submissive. They don't follow like the leader. It's like, okay, so please show me your success in leading. I mean, can you get
They don't want to show their success in leading.
right? So I
right.
mean, but
They don't have to
the
qualify.
logic-
They just want to be there, and
right? How is it logical for someone to follow someone that hasn't been successful being a leader?
that's what I say. It's unrealistic expectations, and unfortunately, you don't have a lot of critical thinkers in society and the Black community. So you go up against a lot.